So the first piece I'm going to read is the first chapter of a novel that I've completed. I'm actually sending out queries trying to get it published. And it came about because I wanted to write a book from the point of view of a character that doesn't speak. So, yeah, it's an interesting endeavor because I got to see every thought that went through her head, and we get to hear every thought that goes through her head, but she doesn't do any of the actual speaking, so it's kind of fun to write. And the book is called Silent Witness. I don't know. Seems to me that we should just leave her. She isn't coming willingly. David, we can't leave her. We don't know what could happen to her if we do. So what? We just grab her and see how well that goes over? If we have to. Let me see if I can get her to come with us. If not, I'll let you grab her and we'll deal with it, okay? Whatever, Matthew. But make it quick. Roland won't appreciate it if we make him wait all day. My world is dark right now. I have my eyes shut. If I keep them shut, maybe they'll go away. I hear someone coming closer and flinch reflexively. I can't help it. No one's even touched me, but I flinch. We won't hurt you. The voice is quiet. I can almost feel a hand reaching towards me. I curl myself up tighter. I don't want to be touched. Please come with us. It isn't safe here. I promise no one will hurt you. The voice seems sincere, but I've heard sincerity before. I've learned not to trust anyone. Come on, Matt, this isn't working. She's obviously got a serious case of Stockholm's. Either I grab her or we leave her. I don't care which anymore. Shut up, David. The voice is annoyed. I curl tighter. Please come with us. It really isn't safe. I feel a hand touch my shoulder and bite back a gasp. My shoulder has been sore for a few days now, but he has no way of knowing that. I'm sure he can see the bruises on my arms and face, even in this poor light, though. His hand suddenly jerks back, as if I'd burned him. I'm sorry, the voice whispers. I didn't mean to hurt you. I carefully open one eye, the one that isn't swollen. No one has apologized to me before. Who would bother now? I see a couple of men in their early 20s, if I had to guess. The one closest to me is blonde and kneeling down next to me. His eyes are full of concern, but I still don't trust him. Concern, like sincerity, can be fake. The other one is standing, his body language betraying his annoyance. His dark hair is in a ponytail that goes past his shoulders. It's a little dark in this forgotten corridor. Most of the lights haven't worked for as long as I can remember, and he's too far away, so I can't discern much else. Can you stand up? The blonde's question pulls my attention back to him. I don't know. I don't know if I want to answer him. Matthew, come on, we don't have time for this. The dark-haired man is annoyed and impatient to leave. I don't know why they don't just leave me behind. Everyone else has. The blonde looks me square in the eye and says, I'm going to pick you up. I will do my best not to hurt you, okay? No, it's not okay. I don't want to be touched, but I cannot answer him. I can't tell him not to touch me. I can't tell him that I cannot stand up because of my leg. I can't tell him that I would rather the building collapse on me than have any chance that he will come back for me. He is convinced that he owns me. He told me he will break me and that I will be grateful for it someday. He is an ass. I hate him. I will never let him break me, even though he almost did. I flinch as the blonde reaches out and lifts me off the ground. His touch is gentle, even though it still hurts me. He doesn't know how badly he beat me yesterday. Or was it this morning? I don't know anymore. I've lost track. I repress another gasp of pain. I cannot fight against his touch, even though I want to. I just don't have the energy or the strength for it today. I feel myself being raised up as I shut my eyes again. I feel the blonde moving through the building, and I hear his companion grumbling ahead of us. My body is jarred as they run up the stairs and outside. I am terrified. I haven't been outside for 3 years at least. I suspect longer. I was told by him that if I ever went outside without his permission, I would die. He would make sure that I did, and I have no reason to doubt him, even if he is an ass. In fact, the only time he told the truth was when he was threatening me. I open my eyes as we go outside. It's dusk, so at least the sun isn't too bright. But the fear that somehow his threat will be made good takes over my senses. As much as I want to die so he can't get me anymore, I still don't want to die at all. I'm only 19. At least, I'm pretty sure I'm 19. He took me hostage when I was 14, and if I haven't gotten too far off on keeping track, I've been captive for 5 years. I've seen others come and go as their families paid for their release from his clutches, but I still don't really understand why he took me in the first place. I know what he wanted from me, but I never cooperated with him. I never tried to escape either, partly because I have no idea where I am, and mostly because he threatened to kill my family if I did. My family is never rich or powerful, so there was no way they could pay for my release. For all I know, they assume I am dead. Xiaozu, the blonde's voice rumbles in his chest as my head rests against it. I just don't have the energy right now to push away from him. I'd end up on my butt on the ground if I tried, and I'm sure that my fresh bruises would not appreciate that. I close my eyes again. My eyelids are heavy, but I am still very much awake. I hear another person approach. Give her to me. Roland wants to see you. This voice has a slight accent, but it's not hard to understand. He can wait. She can't. Matthew, the new voice sounds tired. Xiaozu, you didn't see her in there. We almost didn't get her to come out at all. Actually, we didn't anyway. I recognize the long-haired man's voice. Matthew had to grab her and haul her out. She just didn't fight him like we thought she would. David, Roland is waiting for you and Matthew to report. Another new voice. This one is soft. Travis, make Matthew hand her over so he can go give his report, the first new voice says peevishly. There's a silence. I can only assume that the second new voice is trying to assess the situation. I'm getting cold. I'm wearing only jeans and a t-shirt. I've not been allowed socks or shoes since I wore out the pair I was wearing when he took me away. I've never been allowed a coat. It was a warm spring day when I was taken, so I was not wearing one. It has been an exceptionally cool spring, and the night is starting to get chilly. I shiver. I hate it because it allows the blonde to know that I'm cold, but also because it jars my sore body. Matthew, the second new voice says, give her to me. There's a blanket in the tent, and she's freezing. I feel him hesitate, but the blonde hands me over. The new arms are warm, and I cannot resist attempting to absorb more of it. I'm so cold. I can feel myself being carried away. I crack my eyes open ever so slightly and see a tent a short distance ahead. It is a medium-sized tent, probably designed to sleep 3 or 4 comfortably. There's a sour-looking Chinese man standing next to the flap. He's scowling. I'm no longer sure if I am trembling because I'm cold or because he is angry. I do not want any more anger directed at me. The man sets me down, and I feel my panic rise as I realize that I am now alone in a tent with 2 men. 2 men that I am completely powerless to fight off. I look up as I feel a blanket being wrapped around me. The man who carried me in doesn't look particularly cruel, but it's hard to tell as part of his face is hidden by long bangs. His face is impassive, but his green eyes belie his calm exterior. His eyes are angry. I curl up under the blanket, afraid of the 2 angry men. The blonde promised no one would hurt me, but he isn't here. It wasn't like I could trust him anyway. Did we catch him? The first voice belongs to the Chinese man. Yeah, I'm glad I got to plug him now that I can see some of his work. He is gone? Are they sure? Maybe it's all a trick. He is testing me to see how I'll react. I can't let him know how glad I would be if he really was gone. I'll get a special beating for it. So I remain as neutral as I can, shutting my eyes and I focus on getting warm. The blanket is welcome, even though I'm sure it will be ripped away as soon as he thinks my guard is down. She's definitely the worst off of any I've seen, though. Can't believe the interceptors didn't pick up this case sooner. Interceptors? They're interceptors. I rack my memory. I should know what they are. That's right. The interceptors are a branch of the National Defense Agency. I had to do a report on them in 3rd grade. They're supposed to be the good guys, and I'm too tired to try and remember anymore. If they're really interceptors, I should be able to trust them. If he had his hands in so many things, they might still be his. I know, Shazoo, human trafficking is not as pressing as some of the other cases they've had lately. There was a grunt and then the sound of movement. I'm trying to remain as still as possible because I don't want to draw their attention. I feel a hand gently touch my shoulder and I flinch. The hand is no longer touching me, but I remain tense. If I'm going to get a beating, at least I'm in a good curled up position. My back will bear the brunt of it. Matthew wasn't kidding about her needing to be seen immediately, the Chinese man says quietly. David said they had to grab her because she wouldn't come willingly. I feel him lean over me and gently pull back the edge of the blanket. I'm not going to hurt you, but I do need to see where you're hurt. I need to document your injuries and treat them. I stay curled up as tightly as I can, eyes shut. Shazoo, maybe we should give her a bit of time. Look at her, she's terrified. Maybe we can try again in an hour to let her adjust to this new situation. You may be right, Travis. The blanket slides back over me, for which I am grateful. Although the meager heat I'd managed to get into the blanket was released when he moved it in the first place. I'm tired, and whatever they put me on is soft. And as I get warm, I feel myself relaxing. I drift into oblivion, unsure if I should be allowing myself the luxury of sleep. That I have is the first 2 chapters of a book I'm writing for my nieces and nephews. And the working title is The Magical Storybook of Aunt Barbu. It's kind of a typical children's storybook with very basic beginning plot. So, all right, chapter 1, Meet the Children. Taylor, Madison, Hunter, and Garrett were 4 ordinary children. They lived with their mother and father in a house in a very small town. Father worked for the railroad driving trains, and Mother stayed at home to bake cupcakes and help out with the PTA. Taylor, the oldest, was 12. He had blonde hair that didn't like to stay down when he combed it, and blue-green eyes. He was tall and slender. His mother told him that he would be over 6 feet tall when he was fully grown. He liked to play video games, take care of his 2 pet rats, and play sports at school. Madison was 8. She had very long, thick dark hair and big brown eyes. She had a light dusting of freckles across her nose. She liked to play with her dolls, help her mother bake cookies, and she played basketball in a community league with Hunter. Hunter was almost 7. He had dirty blonde hair and blue-green eyes. He loved anything that would get him dirty. He liked to play outside with the family dog, rolling around in the dirt until both of them needed a bath. In addition to playing basketball on the same team as Madison, Hunter wrestled. Hunter was short for his age. In fact, Garrett was almost as tall as he was. Garrett was only 4. He had blonde hair and brown eyes. Garrett liked to do everything his older brothers and sister liked to do. He loved to call his grandma and tell her all about his day, and he loved to give snuggles. The 4 children were great friends and liked to spend time together. They loved to go camping and fishing. They loved to go swimming and hiking. They loved to play at the playground or visit the small museum across the street. Well, the only thing they didn't like to do was read. Their mother couldn't understand it. She enjoyed reading when she got the chance, and tried to encourage her children to read by purchasing books she thought they would enjoy, and by playing books on tape during car rides. The children listened to the audiobooks, but never picked up a book to read for themselves. Their auntie, who worked at a library, regularly suggested books she thought the children would enjoy. The children always gave the same answers. That sounds boring. I'll read it later. Animals can't talk. I saw the movie already. That's weird. That's dumb. Why would anyone want to read that? I'll read it after I beat this level. That's for nerds. I just don't want to read. It seemed that for every book written, there was a reason none of them wanted to read it. Auntie stubbornly continued to suggest books for them to read. She was convinced that she would find something that would pique the children's interest. Mother didn't know what to do, so she called her mother, who said to leave it to her. The next day, a box arrived from Aunt Barbu. Chapter 2, Aunt Barbu's Gift. Aunt Barbu was a bit of a mystery. She wasn't the children's aunt. She wasn't their mother's aunt. She was actually a very old friend of the family. She was so old that no one knew how old she really was. It was a secret that she wasn't telling anyone. You couldn't guess her age either, because she didn't age. She looked the same as she had when great-great-grandmother Pearl met her during World War II. Aunt Barbu was a world traveler and claimed to have found the Fountain of Youth. She also claimed that she taught Nero how to play his violin and lamented the loss of her vacation home in Pompeii. She talked about visiting Atlantis and claimed that she warned Tsar Nicholas II about Rasputin. Aunt Barbu's name was really Barbara Amanda Rachel Brianna Olive Ophelia, which was quite the mouthful. As family legend went, she was babysitting a 2-year-old King Tutankhamun who couldn't say Barbara. He called her Barbu, and she decided it was perfect for her. Aunt Barbu never married. She always said she never had time to find herself a proper husband. She had met many well-groomed, handsome gentlemen, and had even been courted by a few kings, but none of them was ever quite perfect enough for her taste. She didn't worry about it, though. It'll happen when and if it's supposed to, she always said. Aunt Barbu came and went through the years, randomly showing up at family reunions with new tales of her travels. No one had heard from her in about 20 years, so the box was a very unexpected delivery indeed. It was a simple brown parcel addressed to the children. I want to open it. No, me. Let me do it. My name's first. Mother held the box over her head so they couldn't grab it out of her hands. I will open it, she said. Everyone sit around the table so we can all see. Once the children were settled around the dining room table, her mother carefully opened the box and pulled out a book. Taylor pulled a disgusted face. Mother frowned. You should be grateful that Aunt Barbu thought to send you anything at all. She's got a very busy lifestyle. Madison reached over and took the book from her mother. She flipped through the pages with a frown. It's empty. Mother looked at the book. What are you talking about? She took the book back and opened it to the beginning. There's a note here from Aunt Barbu. My dearest children, a little birdie told me that you need books you can really get into. I hope this one will fill that need. Enjoy. Love, Aunt Barbu. Mother leafed through the book again. Looks like there are a lot of really great stories in here. You should try reading some before deciding that you don't like it. The children looked at each other. The pages were blank. Was their mother crazy or something? Taylor, why don't you read some stories to your brothers and sister? I'm going to get dinner ready. Mother passed the book over to Taylor before leaving them at the table. Taylor flipped through the book as Madison had done. The pages were completely empty. Even the note from Aunt Barbu was nowhere to be found. The siblings looked at each other. Taylor closed the book and got up. Who wants to play Minecraft? I do, the other three chorused. They left the book on the table and went to the living room, which was right next to the dining room. As the children were taking turns playing the video game, their dog, a boxer named Rocky, walked past the table. Hunter was the only one that saw what happened because it wasn't his turn to play the game. As Rocky walked by the table, he gave it a small bump. The book fell off the table and landed on the ground. Hunter's eyes widened as the book opened itself and the pages flipped, stopping somewhere near the middle. It started to glow. Taylor! Quiet, Hunter, I'm concentrating. But Taylor! Before Taylor could yell at Hunter to be quiet again, a bright light filled the room, and then everything went dark.